urgency, then we have a chance of making life multiplanetary. Still just a chance, not for sure. If we don't act with extreme urgency, that chance is probably zero. And the rate of innovation is not going to be constant. It's either going to increase the rate of innovation, or it's going to slow down. If you look at American access to space with Crew, we were able to go to the moon in '69. Then with the space shuttle, we could only go to low Earth orbit. And the space shuttle retired, and then for almost a decade, there was no America had no access to space for its people. So this is a pretty bad trend. It's trending to zero.
Right.
We need a very strong trend in the other direction in order to have any chance whatsoever of making life multiplanetary.
Yep.
So that's the reason for the extreme sense of urgency.
build the technologies necessary to make life multiplanetary. To answer more seriously, if you consider the nature of importance itself and say, how do you tell that anything is important? Well, the lens of history is a helpful guide here. And the more you zoom out, the more you can distinguish the things that are important over a great span of time, the truly important things, versus things that may seem important in the moment but are forgotten once that moment has passed.
Good morning, guys. Sorry about the little bit of the delay there. Welcome. I just realized I hadn't done a morning stream in, I think, almost 2 weeks, and I kind of didn't mean to do that. And I was like, I'm pretty wide awake right now, so let's just do it to it. Let's have a morning show, and I know several of you have been requesting for me to do morning shows. Since not all of you are night owls and different schedules, reach different people and that sort of thing. So, and plus I like doing morning shows here and there. I really do enjoy it. So good morning, guys. Good morning. Great to see you guys. Looks like you're doing a good job at hitting that like button. But if you haven't yet, I can just ask you to do that. It really does help. It's the number one thing you can do to help the channel out. And also, if you're brand new here, I'd like to personally welcome you. You're watching Steele Live. Good morning to you. I am Steele. We've got an awesome little community here, and I want you to be a part of it. So go ahead and hit subscribe. Hit all on that notification bell and check it out. If you are already subscribed, hit all on that notification bell. I've done it myself so many times, even my favorite content creators, right? On YouTube or Odyssey or whatever. I realize I'm not even having the notification bell hit on some of my favorite content creators. It's such an easy little thing to overlook, you know? So if you're already subscribed, make sure you got your notification bell set on, particularly since this is predominantly a live show and you don't want to miss these spontaneous live shows as the one transpiring now. Also, if you feel compelled to super chat anywhere throughout the duration of this broadcast, that is greatly appreciated for all the time and efforts I put in every day on this stuff. And lastly, WEBULL. I recently partnered with WEBULL. They are a stock and crypto trading platform. They do carry Dogecoin, and that was very important to me before I agreed to a partnership deal with them. And right now, for a limited time, only until the 24th, through my partnership link pinned at the top of the chat. Sorry, a little bit of brain freeze this morning. Shaking off the cobwebs, guys. You get 5 free stocks when you open an account at WEBULL, which is absolutely insane. I've never heard of any promo that generous before. I mean, typically they give away, with the partnership deals, 2 free stocks, which is a great deal. But 5 free stocks, you're talking a value up to like $8K, really. So that's an extraordinary deal. I know several of you have been taking advantage of that. And some people are now reporting back, too, that they're additionally, as if that's not enough, they're additionally getting a $50 credit towards crypto. I can't vouch if that's for sure for everyone, but I've had a few different people tell me that they've additionally got that to the 5 free stocks. So that's pretty cool. So that's pinned at the top of the chat there. Let's see who we got in here early this morning. We've got Dogecoin Tweet. Good to see you. We got Diamond Hands Freddy. Of course, we got 7-1. 7-1. Awesome. 7-1's hardcore, man. He did the midnight mass stream in here this morning. Brad, good to see you back in the mix, man. Dova Nord, good to see you. Marie, good morning, Marie. Jimmy D, Mr. Particle, Curly, Sublime, and I think I got everyone that's active in chat as of now, and I'm sure we got some lurkers additionally. So good morning. Those of you who heard the show last night, the late show last night, some of this material is probably going to be a bit redundant, a bit derivative off of that. Okay, so, but I do have some new thoughts that I wanted to inject with the recent stories that have transpired. So I will be tackling things a little bit of a different angle, but we'll be going over much of the same stuff. Just giving you a heads up there. Good morning, Keith. Good to see you. Good to see you guys. Okay. So the main thing I want to get to right at the top, guys, right at the top is this phenomenon. And I don't think we've really seen the gravity of it yet. I don't think people have comprehended the sea shift that is happening here as it relates to Elon Musk, okay? As it relates to Elon Musk. For those of you who don't know or haven't seen it yet, Mr. Elon Musk just premiered in a 1-hour-long sit-down interview with the owners of the Babylon Bee. For those of you who are not familiar with the Babylon Bee, here, let me adjust my camera just really quickly here. For those of you who are not familiar with the Babylon Bee, they are like a parody news website, much like The Onion, but with maybe a little bit different spin on it, which surprised me. And nobody saw this coming. It was unannounced, and they premiered it live on the internet just yesterday. And it was a very, very interesting conversation, very provocative conversation, just very, very interesting. And I took some quotable notables, okay? I took some quotable notables of moments that I felt from that interview were very interesting and particularly interesting moments of interest, right? So I'm going to read you some direct quotes from Elon from that interview, and I would love to get your guys' thoughts and feedback on the chat too. Earlier on in the interview, they were asked him about Elon about his move from California to Texas, and he said the state of Texas is doing everything in its power to get people to leave. And he said it while laughing. I mean, no lie detected, frankly, right? And we are seeing this mass exodus of not only businesses but citizens out of California to other parts of the country, particularly the Austin area. And it's just it's interesting to see. Another notable quotable from this interview, guys, was they asked him how he discovered the Babylon Bee, and he said he just stumbled across some of their stuff online that made him laugh. And he said it reminded him of the Onion back in the day. And basically he was inferring that the Onion used to be better than it is now. And I would agree with that personally. But he said, I used to be a much bigger fan of the Onion. But then the Onion seems to have gotten really, really politically correct. It's sort of gone the SNL direction. The SNL direction. This is where it gets a little spicier, right? So then the conversation moves to Saturday Night Live. And Elon went on to express his thoughts on Saturday Night Live, and he said this: I used to be a big fan of SNL, but many, if not all, SNL episodes are now pretty much moral lectures on why we're bad human beings rather than comedy. When comedy, and I'll wait for this next quote because I want to dovetail back to that last quote. This is particularly interesting to me because, you know, it was just within this last year here that Elon Musk was the host of one of the episodes of Saturday Night Live. Its highest rated episode of the entire year. Saturday Night Live's ratings haven't been one to really boast about in recent years. And a lot of people have kind of already came to similar conclusions as Elon regarding the show. But I thought that was a very spicy thing to say. A spicy thing to say for it's considering that he had hosted earlier this year, right? Let's see what's going on in the chat. Oh, thank you, Sliding Edge. Good morning to you. Sliding Edge, did you miss last night's show? I don't think you were there last night, but I'm glad you made it this morning. And this is why I do it. This is why I do it, so I can reach more of you folks. Sliding Edge coming with a $5 super chat. Appreciate that. Cup of Joe in the morning with my man Steele. Well, I got the seltzer water, but it's not entirely true. I got a little bit of green tea here as well, so we'll take a sip of that. Gonna rock some carrot juice, says 7-1. I love fresh carrot juice. You know, if you drink enough fresh carrot juice, it actually turns your skin like a glowing light orangish hue. It's true. It really does. It's that beta carotene just bursting at the seams, making you glow, baby, making you glow. So, the Onion ruled back in the day. I agree, Keith. It used to be a newspaper form, and it was founded in the state that I grew up in, and so it was always in the metropolitan areas where I resided. And you could pick up the Onion anywhere, at like pubs or cafes or pizza places, things like that. Very edgy, very funny comedy, like very brutal. I remember actually working in a sandwich shop when I was 18 years old. I was a shift manager, and the main attorney, he saw me reading the Onion on my break. And he came over to me and introduced himself. He's like, you like the Onion? I'm like, yeah, it's great. I love it. He says, I'm actually the main attorney for the Onion. I'm like, wow. And he had his hands full because the Onion was very spicy comedy, very edgy comedy. So they're always in some legal embattlements, consequently. Yeah, the Onion's definitely gotten much more subdued. We've been seeing this trajectory throughout much of comedy, really. I think Sarah Silverman's a really good example of that. When she first started out, I thought she was very funny, actually, very funny. She had a show called The Sarah Silverman Show that was really, really funny and pretty raw, but pretty funny. And even Sarah Silverman's early stand-up, I thought, was pretty good. and then she turned the trajectory. She went from being, I thought, incredibly funny to just incredibly insufferable, right? So, I think Elon really touched on a trajectory that's important to point out, and one that I think a lot of us have experienced that have noticed. You know what I mean? And Elon went on to speak about this, what he calls a wokeism, woke mind virus, and he even went so far as to suggest that wokeism is one of the major threats to our civilization. And it sounds hyperbolic, it sounds ridiculous, but when you really look around, folks, and you see how deeply these sorts of ideologies have permeated through every facet of our society, it's interesting, isn't it? It's interesting. It almost seems like to me, it seems very almost cultish. It seems like a weird religion that's been sweeping the land, so to speak. It reminds me a lot of very strident, zealous kind of wacky kind of religious tones to it. And I think one of the interviewers in that feature last night with Elon spoke to that as well. And it's just interesting to see the richest man in the world speak to this, right? And to call this out. It's certainly not something we've ever seen before. Speaking of which, let me go to the next notable quotable from that interview, guys. And this one, I just want you guys to let this absorb upon you. I want you to just fully let this next one sink in, because I think that this is one of two moments in that hour-long interview that I thought were the most profound, yeah? So just let this sit in. This is a direct quote from Elon from last night. When comedy stops trying to get to an essential truth that is humorous, then it's just not that funny. Right? Let that sink in. When comedy stops trying to get to an essential truth that is humorous, then it's not that funny. That's like, it's simple, but it's not. You know what I mean? It's simple, but it's not. It's just very interesting. Now, I'm going to give you one more quotable. I'm going to give you one more notable quotable from the Elon Musk Babylon Bee interview. And this one's going to be making the rounds. And this one, I noticed, has already been chopped up and making the rounds because it's very bold, but it's a very astute observation while being simultaneously bold. And this is another direct quote from Elon from yesterday. Now, let this one sink in too, folks. Do we want a humorless society that is rife with condemnation and hate? It's at its heart. Wokeness is divisive, exclusionary, and hateful. It basically gives mean people a shield to be cruel, armored in false virtue. Wow. And you're going to notice the mainstream media, they're still catching up on this. You're not even hearing anyone really talk about this as far as content creation. I'm sure there'll be some channels that speak on it later today, but I dedicated a fair chunk of my show last night discussing this as well. I think I was the first content creator really on it post-interview. And it's going to take the mainstream media probably another 24 hours to really pick up on all this that we're talking about this morning here, folks. But this is going to be a bigger deal than what most people even realize. This is going to be a bigger deal than most people realize. Here we have Elon Musk being in the position that he is, folks. I don't think most people realize it yet, but I believe that what we are seeing unfold before us is a very pivotal trajectory change. Okay, very pivotal trajectory change at with Elon Musk at the helm of it, because here we have Elon directly challenging the woke narrative, directly challenging a lot of these assumed cultural trajectories that have been rubbing a lot of people the wrong way. They've been very contentious, and I believe they've been propagated from a smaller but a very powerful and a very vocal minority of folks that have even gone so far as to overtake many of our very institutions. Yeah. And so we have Elon taking a decisive strike back to this stuff, folks. I just turned up the microphone volume. I heard someone complain about that. Okay, so I believe that this is now hear me out, because I believe that what Elon has been expressing lately, I think it's going to cause a certain degree of a paradigm shift in the way that we are all thinking and where we're all going culturally, particularly as it relates to the Western world. And I don't think we've even begun to see the reverberations of the things he's talking about. And I think Elon Musk, for a number of reasons, is uniquely positioned to be very effective. If there's any one person you could pick on the planet to offer a shift in the paradigm as it relates to the culture, it would be Elon. Furthermore, even though Elon is pretty opinionated, he's not particularly political, and I think that's important, right? I think that's very important because it also speaks to something else, folks. In terms of, I've been saying for a while now that the traditional left versus right paradigms, I think they've become very antiquated. I think they become very antiquated, and I think we are way overdue for fresh perspectives on things. Okay, fresh perspectives on things, and new ways of looking at things that embrace the better aspects of both sides, for lack of a better term. And I think Elon is uniquely positioned to bring that in, because he does have strong opinions, although he's not overtly political guy. And it's great because in a lot of ways it's bringing a lot of different people together that normally wouldn't be together on things, yeah? And it's really, really shaking up the scene. It's really shaking up what we've typically assumed to assume that where we are going, right? And here we have Elon Musk going, not so fast, not so fast. I don't like this stuff. I don't like this trajectory. It's making us a meaner world. It's making us a more censored world. It's making us a less freer world, yeah? And when you're talking about these sorts of issues, as it relates to people on a daily basis, these break down the political walls. These break down the partisan walls. And for those that don't, for those that do want to make things like censorship and people's basic freedoms and environments of that encourage self-expression without being micromanaged and demonized every step of the way. Nobody wants to live in this Orwellian world that keeps being foisted upon us. Okay, if you look at where we were just 5 years ago, just 6 years ago, and the Orwellian trajectory that we've been on, it's very drastic. Even when you look at, even if you watch movies from 6 to 8 years ago, there's an enormous difference. There's an enormous difference. It's a disturbing trajectory in a short amount of time, in my opinion, guys. In my opinion. So, I think Elon Musk is uniquely positioned to shake this up and challenge it and say, no, I'm not down with this stuff. Because before that, The institution powers that be. Look, I was just thinking about it too. If you've followed one celebrity's Twitter account, you've literally followed them all. They're all parroting the exact same opinions, the exact same perspectives, the exact same attitudes, 99.9% of the time. And one of the silver linings through this, what we've uncovered through the pandemic over the last almost 2 years now, is I think one of the silver linings is it's forced people to perhaps re-examine their relationship with particular institutions, their relationship with what they considered entertainment, their relationship with the media that they're ingesting. And now here we have folks listening to me right now instead of Good Morning America or whatever other morning shows are on TV. You're sitting here or you're listening here on your way to work. You're listening to me talk to you, an independent content creator on a small budget out of a one-bedroom apartment in a city. Because people have been waking up and they just want something that's just more real. They want something that hits them that's just more real. That doesn't feel like an agenda, right? It's almost like when you meet someone new when you're out and about, and you know when you're at a party or you're out, and then you could tell the person that's talking to you, it's somebody with an agenda, whether it's a selfish agenda or they're trying to get you to do something for them or join something. It doesn't feel genuine. Right? It doesn't feel genuine. And I feel so much of our media is so always agenda laden that I think it rubs people the wrong way. There's just something very uneasy about it, isn't there? Something very uneasy about it. Something very disingenuous about it. And so what I'm seeing is I think more and more people are waking up to this sort of vibe. And I think Elon Musk is right at the helm of it, folks. I think we are going to look back in this as somewhat of a watershed moment, if you will, somewhat of a watershed moment. And I think looking back on this period in a couple years is going to be very, very telling, very telling. I'm seeing your Pete is just lame, Dave C. Yeah, actually. Speaking of Dave Chappelle, Elon specifically defended Dave Chappelle in that interview last night. Dave Chappelle, the original Dave Chappelle show was so good, wasn't it? Wasn't it so good? Don't ever rub another man's rhubarb, says 7-1. That is a quote from the Joker via Jack Nicholson from 1989's Batman. There you go. Up here, it's a plethora. It's a Rolodex of useless knowledge. 7-1. Not entirely all useless. Not entirely all useless. Anyway, thank you guys for indulging me on that tangent this morning. And I hope you guys, it looks like you folks are picking up what I'm throwing down there. So that's cool. That's cool. I appreciate that. Have you guys seen this where Elon Musk and Jack Dorsey keep mocking the concept of Web3? You know, Jack Dorsey's really kind of loosened the tie, right? Or whatever. Loosened the Trustafarian, metaphorical hippie tie. Since he stepped down from CEO of Twitter, suddenly he's become a much more likable guy. He jokes around more. And he even engages in some a healthy bit of trolling. That's nice to see. So him and Elon Musk have kind of been mixing up, poking fun at the concept of Web3, because right now it's kind of a bloated buzz term. A lot of people are throwing around without even knowing where it's headed or what defines it. Now, I'm not saying that Web3 is not going to materialize into something much greater, something big. It could, but as of right now, it's questionable. So that was one of the more enjoyable things on Twitter over the last couple of days, is watching Elon and Jack go back and forth on that. Musk actually tweeted, "Has anyone seen Web3? I can't seem to find it." And it goes on, and it goes on. But that really, it's interesting, the mainstream media, that really seemed to really shake them up. Like, oh my gosh, sacrilege. Musk and Dorsey are chastising Web3, which is a weird thing to get a weird thing to get upset about. Carlos says, I was raised in New York, but I was born in New York, but I was raised in Castro's Cuba, my friend. I know both sides of the coins, and the side we're moving to is scary, my friend. Carlos, thank you for sharing that. Thank you for sharing your experiences. Many times from the folks that I've gotten to know over the years, many times they're immigrants from other nations that have a different styles of government. And part of the reasons why they moved to America was to get away from those styles of government. Many times those are the folks that are actually have more patriotic sympathies, which is interesting. I can particularly think of some Russian friends of mine that's true for as well. Anyway, bro, Dogecoin, someone says, yes, Dogecoin. Those of you who know me, Real Deal Steele, I'm a Doge-centric content creator. And boy, oh boy, do we have some good news to talk about this morning. GameStop accepts Dogecoin. GameStop, yes. GameStop, huge, massive company with a strong, revived community to really put some injection of excitement and almost like a second life, right, to GameStop. And this is great. This is something that I've wanted to happen for quite some time, and it's great to see that it's finally materializing here. Now, it's interesting because they announced it at the same time that they're saying they're going to take on SHIB, which is all fine and good for SHIB. But when the dust really settles, and AMC did the same thing too. They said they kind of added it on after they announced Dogecoin. Well, we're also going to take SHIB too. That's fine. That's fine. But, you know, folks, when the dust settles, there's a very big, massive distinction between a project like SHIB and a project like Dogecoin. And no disrespect to SHIB, I'm just being real about it. Since SHIB is not on its own blockchain, it runs on the ERC20, it is also subject... Okay, it is also subject to all those Ethereum gas fees, you see. So if every time you go to make a purchase and want to use SHIB, you are subject to be paying what the gas fees are at the time. And we all know how expensive Ethereum gas fees have been and continue to be. Now, how many folks do you think are going to make purchases through GameStop using SHIB if they got to pay $40 to $100 in gas fees alone? Same for AMC. How many people are going to be buying up Jujubes, peanut M&Ms, Dr. Pepper, and a jumbo popcorn if they got to pay an extra $65 in gas fees just to cover the SHIB transaction? I would say very, very few. I would say even the most ardent, bullish SHIB supporters would not do that. Would not do that. On the other hand, because Dogecoin runs on its own blockchain, and because its transaction speeds are both faster and cheaper than not only Bitcoin, but Ethereum as well. Let me say that one more time. I know this is a very simple truth, but it's one that keeps needing to be said as I look out throughout social media day after day and see how many people still don't understand these very basic fundamental elements and truths about Dogecoin. Dogecoin is quicker and cheaper in its transaction. It's quicker in its transaction times, and it's cheaper in its transaction fees than both Bitcoin and Ethereum. I mean, folks, it's not even close. People are shifting around hundreds of thousands of dollars worth of Dogecoin for less than $1. This is wild. This is nuts. And not only is that not only is that incredibly impressive and competitive as it relates to digital currency, but that's incredibly impressive as it relates to all currency, right? And this is one of the main functions that a currency like Dogecoin really solves, right? It really solves and is going to continue to appeal to the masses once it really dawns on them, once it really sinks in, right? Once it really sinks in. You know, I still see people on Twitter every day, and because I've become, with my new Twitter profile, the engagement's really gone through the roof, and which is great to see, but it's also kind of put me in the hot seat with people who are very critical of Dogecoin. I see the same themes coming through in my comments and in my messages. Why do you support this SHIT coin? It's just a meme coin. It's just created as a joke. It's worthless. It has no utility. It has no active development. Well, folks, these are the most common tropes that I hear as it relates to Dogecoin, and these are not only misguided, they are patently false. They are 100% false. They are 100% wrong in their assertions, ladies and gentlemen. Because Dogecoin has utility. It did start as a joke, and it still is, frankly. It still is. It's a fun meme coin joke, but additionally, it does have utility, and it has strong utility. And its simplicity is its strength. You know, I once said I've joked with Billy Marcus when I had a one-on-one talk with him for over 2 hours. You know, we connected very early on when I started making content, and he and I just connected and we got along right away. And consequently, he engaged in a one-on-one talk with me that I conducted in Twitter Spaces, which is unfortunate because back then you couldn't record. I wish I could have recorded that and uploaded it, because Billy rarely gives one-on-one talks. He rarely gives one-on-one talks in interviews. And so, but he and I talked for about 2.5 hours, and I joked with him. I said, listen, man, if you didn't go out of your way to put actual solid utility in Doge, we wouldn't be sitting here talking today. Doge wouldn't have become the mammoth household name that it has become, right? So it's very interesting. And he got a good laugh out of that. Good morning, Nostalgic Jay. Awesome, dude. Great to have you in the mix this early morning. Thank you for the content this morning. Dogecoin to the moon with a large Big Doge energy. $50 super chat. Thank you so much, Nostalgic Jay. Really appreciate you, man. Thank you so much. Honestly, it's hugely appreciated. Definitely putting a pep in my step this morning. So thank you for your support. It's honestly supporters like you that even make it possible. That make it possible for me to do live stream shows almost every single day. So thank you for that. Thank you for that. Yeah, someone having some pretty strong opinions about the Ethereum bridge. Well, one of the main functions that the Doge Ethereum bridge can accomplish is make it much more viable in the NFT space. And what I mean by that, through the Doge Ethereum bridge, it could create a tokenized version of Dogecoin to be used and transacted on platforms like OpenSea, etc., etc. Now, I think NFTs are here to stay. I've been cautioning people on investing too much in them lately, just because I've considered them increasingly high risk, mostly due to oversaturation. Guys, if you could just bear with me a moment. My computer charger is my computer power is low, and I'm looking for my charger. I'm looking for my charger so I can plug it back in. And I have a feeling my Doge did something with it. So just give me a moment. Give me a moment to look for that so we stay connected here, right? We want to stay connected. So just give me a moment. I am with you guys. I will keep talking to you guys as I look for this computer charger. I found it. It's deep under my sectional sofa. Just got to do a little twister here. Reach for it. And we are almost good to go, friends. To prevent this morning show from powering down. Ooh, that was a close one. We are back. We are back. All right, we're back, guys. We have it handled. Thank you for your patience on that. What's interesting is my point is, despite that, I do think it's important that we look to get Doge more applicable in the NFT space to increase its popularity. I do think it's going to be one of the fundamental steps in increasing its popularity. And in a way, Vitalik Buterin has been I think, in my opinion, more anxious than what he lets on to want the Dogecoin Ethereum bridge to happen, because it does solve problems for Ethereum as well. Okay, and I do think so. I think it's going to be a mutually beneficial, symbiotic relationship there, without affecting the very basic fundamental strengths of Dogecoin from what I've learned about it. I do think that OpenSea will take currency outside of ETH and WETH. I think it's inevitable. Especially after the more people I've talked to that are pretty connected with the folks that run things over there. Now, I'm not saying that's going to happen overnight, but I do think it's an inevitability. That's a lot of money that they're going to be leaving on the table. And people are desperately looking for alternatives to the Ethereum gas fees. That's why we are seeing huge increases in popularity in not only Solana, but AVAX as well. Okay, AVAX as well, and others, Lunaterra. Okay, and we are seeing Lunaterra and AVAX just do wild numbers and continue to do wild numbers. And I don't think that's slowing down, folks. I don't think that's slowing down. And I've been calling this. I said, if you want to skew more on the safer end of DeFi, I was saying this about 4 to 6 weeks ago, wasn't I, folks? I said, look to AVAX to 3 to 5x within the next 6 months, and since then we've almost 3x'd since then already. So, Mama Crypto, we've got a mod in here. Good morning, Mama Crypto. I think Mama Crypto is one of the few people that's got a schedule as unconventional as mine. As unconventional as mine. Good to see you in the mix, Mama Crypto. Thanks for holding it down. Appreciate you. Okay. Matic is doing really well too, yes. And I've said for a long time that I picked Matic a while back to be what I felt to be a good long-term investment. I see both Lunaterra and AVAX particularly. I think AVAX, keep watching for AVAX to really surprise people and continually do well. As it stands, I see Lunaterra, both Lunaterra and AVAX, sticking around either in the top 10 or just right around it for the long haul, folks, for the long haul. And just imagine the kind of number. Now, look at the kind of numbers both AVAX and Lunaterra have been shaking up the market in terms of really making themselves exception to the rule, while everything else is either trading sideways or going down. Both Lunaterra and AVAX have been a few notable exceptions to keep performing very, very strongly, very strongly. I don't see that ending anytime soon, so just keep an eye on that. I'm very, very, just for the record, just my opinion, guys, not financial advice. Financial fried rice, as a friend of mine sometimes says. I'm very bullish on AVAX and Lunaterra, and I've been bullish on Lunaterra for a while. I've been talking about Lunaterra since I first started making content. So anyway, let's go to the next story, folks. Let's go to the next story. Elon Musk, SpaceX nails its 100th rocket landing after launching a new Falcon 9 to the ISS to deliver 6,500 pounds of goods that include Christmas gifts for the crew. What a great mission. What a great mission. A successful 100th rocket landing. How many of you have seen, in fact, I show some of this extraordinary footage in my intro, right? The reverse rocket landing. It almost looks like you're playing footage in reverse. It looks so wild. But that's not footage in reverse. That is the level of technological advancement that SpaceX has been able to accomplish over the last decade. We're seeing rockets land, right? We see them to a precision, and the same landing pad that they ascended, they took off from. And we see them coming down like this. It literally looks like you're playing footage in reverse. It's just extraordinary. It's just extraordinary. Now, that didn't happen overnight. There was a lot of trial and error. I actually have another Elon Musk kind of music video edit that I made with a lot of that footage, with some of that footage where it shows all the times that the rockets blew up, right? In order to achieve the greatness that SpaceX has been able to accomplish. And its 100th successful rocket landing, not just rocket launch, but rocket landing. And from an engineering perspective, rocket landings are even more of an accomplishment than the ascendants. Nostalgic Jay, thanks for paying the bills this morning, man. Honestly, thank you so much. Hugely appreciated. Coming with a $20 super chat with some woo old school Nintendo pixelation enthusiasm up in here. Nostalgic Jay, thank you, man. Appreciate you so much. Appreciate you so much. I do not, just for the record, I do not think Elon Musk is a good man. I do not think that. I think he is a great man. I think he's a great man. I think history will vindicate that. So I think all the folks that are incredibly critical of him now, the level of technological advancements that he is pushing and being responsible for is going to frankly bless and advance humanity for a long time to come. And it's not every generation that you even have opportunities and people with the sort of resources, both the resources and IQ that Elon does to accomplish the things he does. People have, it's amazing to me how many people have doubted Elon Musk through so many of his ventures, right? And he keeps proving them wrong. He keeps proving them wrong. And I believe Dogecoin is no exception. Okay? It's amazing to me, and this is why, one of the reasons why I do this show, right? Just to kind of fill that and to keep trying to get the truth out there as it relates to Dogecoin. You know, it's one of those things where it's Elon Musk's favorite cryptocurrency, number one. Two, Vitalik Buterin has been the blockchain advisor for Dogecoin, which is very interesting. Just those two names alone, and people that don't know anything about it, write it off as a joke, a useless joke, yeah? Why would Elon Musk and both Elon Musk and Vitalik Buterin be so involved with a useless joke? They understand that it's a joke, as do we all here, but they also understand the sleek, strong utility and community behind it, yeah? So it's also interesting to me how many times I hear people that are incredibly bullish about the legitimacy of Ethereum in one breath and diss Doge on the next breath. It's like, do you not realize that the primary creator of Ethereum is a big Dogecoin fan? In fact, Vitalik Buterin is, I'll tell you how big of a Dogecoin fan Vitalik Buterin is, folks. He vacationed all the way to Japan so he could see and visit the original Doge that the Doge memes were based off of. He traveled to Japan to do that. So yeah, I think it's just interesting to me the disconnect there with some folks, but that's why we're out here, folks. That's why we're out here. And I think more and more people are understanding this. More and more people understand this every day. And now that we have Elon Musk at the helm, guys, we are living in fantastic times right now. Elon Musk just named Time Person of the Year a few days ago. And an exclusive interview done with Time Magazine, wherein when he was asked about Bitcoin and his relationship with cryptocurrency, Elon Musk said, it almost sounded like me talking, frankly. Elon Musk said, hey, Bitcoin's great, but it's kind of evolved into this appreciating asset, kind of like gold, wherein Dogecoin is more and better suited for transactions. It's cheaper, it's faster. And here you saw the Time magazine interviewer. Let's go, oh, yeah. So, if Elon Musk is saying this, but some anonymous profiles, a bunch of anonymous profiles on Twitter or Bitcoin maximalists or whatever, are disparaging Dogecoin, who do you think has a higher probability of being correct in this capacity? Who do you trust more? Who do you trust more? Do you trust the trolls on Twitter? Or do you trust Vitalik Buterin and Elon Musk? Who do you think has a more credible track record? I think the answer speaks for itself. Warren Karen, not happy with you. Me specifically? I don't know. Maybe I'll be on her next list to dust it up with. Yes, indeed. But this is an incredible accomplishment for SpaceX. So that was really, really cool to hear about. Let's go to the next story here, folks. This one's kind of fun. Non-crypto related, but it's wild. I covered this last night. But it's a story so nice, I gotta go over it twice. In fact, nice isn't even the word. It's just absolutely ridiculous and hilarious. You guys know the pop singer Demi Lovato. She had some hits a couple years ago. I think since then she's just kind of been doing her thing. And her thing right now is she has her own ghost hunting show on something called... what is it? Peacock TV. And on the most recent episode of her ghost hunting show, Demi Lovato, I'm not making this up, folks. I mean, it sounds like parody, but it's not parody. I'm not making this up. Demi Lovato sings to the ghosts to help them of what she diagnosed. So she diagnosed these supposed ghosts with having trauma caused by sexism. So she proceeds to sing to the ghosts to help them overcome it. I have a story pulled up that covers it. It says, footage shows Demi Lovato singing to a ghost after it's supposedly revealed that it had bad experiences with men. And the performance that earned... You know, this is tricky because she's one of these folks that goes by them, they, them. And so the story is written that way. It takes a little bit getting used to. So the story says, a performance that earned them a standing ovation. Lovato has been exploring Demi Lovato has been exploring her interest in supernatural life in recent docuseries Unidentified with Demi Lovato. In one clip, we see Lovato join their friend Matt Scott on a paranormal and a paranormal investigator, Chris Smith, to visit Vulture City, an old ghost town in Arizona. Now get this: a spirit who she came across a spirit who has past trauma with men while in an abandoned brothel. Actually, to give her some credit, I could believe that in an old abandoned brothel, right? But the ghost hunter had set up an EMF detector, and it's a special device that in this article says lets out a noise whenever communication is made. Folks, an EMF detector is just that. It picks up electronic wavelengths. But to conclude that every time an EMF detector goes off that it's a spirit is a pretty good stretch. Because you know what else sets off EMF detectors? Phones, CBs, radios, microwaves. Okay, so anyway, Lovato asked the spirit that she called Carmen. She says, This is what she asked. This is what Demi Lovato asked the ghost, the supposed ghost. She said, "Have you seen anything like ETs in here or UFOs? Star people?" In the Bannon brothel, she asked this ghost, "Have you seen any aliens or UFOs in here?" What kind of question is that? And then she says, "Star people." What's going on in the world? Truth is stranger than fiction sometimes, folks. And here we have Exhibit A. As the two men leave the room, Lovato then says, "Do you not want to say anything else because the boys are in here?" The device then makes a noise, at which point Lovato continues, I get that a lot." And then she turns to the ghost, her ghost hunter comrades, and says, She has trauma. That's why. She doesn't like men. Lovato then tells the spirit, "It's okay, I have it too. So I feel you, and I get it." Speaking from the outside the room, the two men suggest Lovato sings to Carmen, the spirit ghost, to which Demi Lovato replies, "Well, I always sing Skyscraper when I feel like singing something emotional," before launching into a spontaneous rendition of her hit. As they finish the excerpt from the song, the machine makes another noise, to which the three take as a sign of a standing ovation. "That's the coolest standing ovation I've ever heard," Lovato said. Can you believe this, folks? It almost sounds like, who was his name? Nick Kroll. Nick Kroll had a comedy show that wasn't too bad on Comedy Central. I think it only lasted a couple seasons, but it was all comedy skits, and he had this parody of a ghost hunter show that he would do on there called Bobby Bottle Service, or Ghost Hunting with Bobby Bottle Service. And it was a character that he played that was a really Jersey Shore kind of guy that hosted a ghost hunting show. It reminds me of something that would be on that, but they're not kidding. This is just wild. Alex, good to see you. Dingus Chubb, good to see you. Doodle Doo, I think I saw you before. All right, guys. All right. Jay Codina. Elon is the space kingpin. Hard to argue with that. All right. So, I think, and I actually posted, if you look on my Twitter page, actually, because people are asking me, this can't be real. And so I posted a bit of the footage from the program of her, serenading the ghost. Oh, it's just wild stuff. Now check out this story, guys. A man searches through landfill for 8 years. And what would cause a man to search through a disgusting landfill for 8 years? I'll tell you what. $350 million in Bitcoin wallet. That's what. Man, how about that for a mistake? Whilst doing some spring cleaning back in 2013, a man threw out his old PC hard drive into the trash, which quickly joined a mountain of rubbish at his local landfill site in Newport, Wales, United Kingdom. Little did he know at the time that the same hard drive contained a wallet filled with, get this, guys, 7,500 Bitcoin. Imagine throwing away 7,500 Bitcoin. Worth about then anyway, it was worth almost $700,000 in the early days. Now it's worth over $350 million. Once he realized, the man began a desperate search for the hard drive and has been searching ever since. Over the past 8 years, James Howells has been crawling through mounds of rubbish on the hunt for his 350 million needle in a haystack the size of a football pitch. Wow. I had a word with one of the guys down there, explained the situation. He actually took me out in his truck where the landfill site is. The current ditch they're working on, it's about the size of a football field. And he said something from 3 or 4 months ago that would be about 3 or 4 feet down, said Howell in an interview with The Guardian back in 2013. What would you guys do? So this guy has been almost regularly for 8 years digging through a trash and landfill, looking for that hard drive. You better wear some thick gloves, man. You got needles in there. You got all sorts of stuff. Sharp glass. Dirty diapers. Ugh. Would you do it? Could you do it? Would you keep going after years of looking for it? Would you even keep going? What would you do? Man, I don't know, man. But you know that guy goes to sleep almost every night thinking about it, right? You know he goes to sleep thinking almost every night how he threw away $350 million. Oh, man. I would hate to live that down. But sooner or later, you're going to have to learn to live with it, man. You're going to learn to have to live with it and let go, you know? Because the probability of this poor guy finding this hard drive is next to nothing. But wouldn't it be great if he did? Wouldn't that make for the best movie ever? I hope it happens for him, because it would be an extraordinary story, wouldn't it? Just extraordinary. Jack Dorsey also recently expressed, guys, when Cardi B asked on Twitter, could cryptocurrency ever replace the dollar? Jack Dorsey said yes with Bitcoin. I think this is a bullish sign. I take this as a win to help changing the narrative. Yeah, somebody in the position that Jack is, and communicating to somebody as high profile as Cardi B. Sure, that's a good thing. I personally think that Dogecoin is better positioned to be the everyday digital dollar, but I think that other shoe is already dropping. I think the more Bitcoin succeeds, and people through their own trial and error, and businesses and societies through their own trial and error, are going to come around to understand the important utility and strengths of Dogecoin going forward. I really do think that. Let's see what's going up in the chat. Yep. I hear you. Sounds like a waste of life. Buy more crypto and wait. Yeah, it's one of those things where he's been looking for. This is the thing too, guys. Now, here's something very important to consider. This poor guy that's been looking for his lost hard drive for worth $350 million in Bitcoin. He's been looking for 8 years. Now, instead of whining and obsessing over all that money he lost, what would happen if he would have just invested 10 more K into Bitcoin and Dogecoin 8 years ago? He'd still be a millionaire. He'd be a millionaire today. Now, he wouldn't have $350 million, but he'd certainly be comfortable. So, yeah. I mean, there's kind of reminds me of the old. I've always felt this way too. When you mess up or you find yourself involved in ventures throughout life that end up wasting your time, or it doesn't work out, it goes belly up, don't spend too much time sulking about your losses. Don't do that. Because every day is a gift. And we're only on this planet for a blink of an eye in the grand scheme of things, right? We all only have so much time. It's inevitable. So don't spend too much time down. Don't spend too much time sulking. Get back on the horse. Make your moves. Whether you're just getting out of a marriage, right? Your girlfriend broke up with you. You lost a bunch of money on the market. Well, get out there and make more capital and make new moves, right? Make new moves. I know people that have spent the majority of their lives obsessing over an opportunity that they lost, and they never recovered from it, and it shows. I've certainly had my opportunities to do that. I'm sure many of you have as well. I remember I was supposed to get signed to Sony Records many years ago, and that fell through. You know why that fell through? Because they decided to go with a band by the name of The Killers. True story. Now, of course, I was really bummed out, right? Slipped through my fingers. Makes me think where I'd be today. Everything that I missed out on, all the experiences I probably missed out on. Because I worked so hard for so many years in the music industry. And to watch a deal with Sony Records fall through my fingers, that was hard. But you know what? I didn't waste much time sulking about it. I didn't waste much time. I got back on that horse, started writing music again, getting back in that studio, working hard, making connections, making things happen. And you know what? And also be thankful, right? Be thankful for what you have accomplished. Yeah, just a bit of encouraging words this morning. Every day is a reset, someone says. I agree with that. Every day is a new opportunity to reset it, man. Joe's getting a little jumpy, wants to go for a run. I could see that. Let's take a look at what the market is doing, my friends. Let's take a look at what the market is doing. We'll go over some basic conditions. Dogecoin right now is it's up almost 4% over the last 24 hours and up 2% over the last hour. Why don't we put the Doge chart on the screen, because that is some nice little bullish momentum this morning. 2% is nothing to sneeze at. Nothing to sneeze at. So we'll put the Doge chart up here. And here we have it, guys. Look at that big green candle. Now, we are looking at a 1-hour chart here, just so you know. But a big green candle going up here. Why don't we move into a 15-minute chart? A little bit of normal retracement here, but some nice bullish momentum. Looks like we're probably headed towards 18 cents. If we get past 18 cents, I'm actually showing the strongest point of next resistance right around 18.10. If we can get past 18.10, I think the probability for even reaching upwards of 20 cents within the day becomes pretty high, frankly, pretty high. You got us, Steven. Screw the contract. I love it. I love it, Mr. Cadona. Thank you for that. And then he asked, can we get Dogecoin on the screen instead of BTC? I'm already ahead of you, my friend. I'm already ahead of you. Shidoshi is lurking in the background. You know, sometimes you just want to lurk. Sometimes people are multitasking and they're not able to participate in the chat and they just listen. I get that too. I do that with a lot of my favorite content, even live streams. Living with Lucy, who's probably the only other content creator who live streams as much as I do. In fact, I think I might even have Lucy beat a little bit. I think we're about neck and neck, but her and I get along really well. I think we share a lot of the same audiences too, but many times I'll listen to Living with Lucy on my headphones while I'm doing other things, while I'm doing other stuff, right? And that's all. I love doing it that way, because I would never even get to close to as much of my favorite content if I didn't listen while I do other things. That's what allows me to do it. So yeah. Dogecoin definitely showing some bullish momentum here. We will continue to monitor the situation, and who knows, maybe we'll see 18 cents within the hour here. Bitcoin is trying to get up to 49,000. Ethereum finally passing 4,000, up 6% for the week. Pretty much trading neutrally so far today. Lunaterra, however, get this, guys. Lunaterra up 63% for the week. 63% for the week. For the last 24 hours, up over 8% of the last 24 hours. And the last hour, taking some normal correction at about 1.5%. Lunaterra, also taking a healthy correction at 1% over the last hour, but up 8.5% over the last 24 hours and 63% over the last week. Just amazing, guys. Amazing. And AVAX is up 38% over the last week, about 4.5% over the last day. Things are looking good. VGX, Voyager. I aped a little bit back into Voyager after pulling out. And I don't think I should have aped back in, because now it's down again. You know, VGX is Voyager's native token. It's trading right now at $3 even. Every top technical analysis earlier this year, you know where they're putting VGX at? I mean, every one of them. You know where they're putting VGX at the end of year? $30 to $50. A $30 to $50 projection end of year. And here we are at the end of the year, and VGX is barely limping over $3. That is a dismal, pathetic performance. And personally, although I am very bullish on Voyager as a platform, I don't think I have enough faith in them to make VGX pop off over the long term. I don't think I have enough faith in them to do that, particularly since the space has gotten so much more crowded since it initially launched. So I don't know. I'm not too bullish on VGX. I'm going to wait for it. Right now, I'm down like $100 on it. I'm going to wait for it to stabilize so I don't lose anybody. I think I'm getting out. I'm going to reallocate those funds. Just letting you know what I'm doing personally. You know what? Another one that really turned out to be a dud that I thought had a really promising future towards the year was CKB, Nervos Network. Boy, has that been stuck in a rut. Stuck. Even when everything else has been incredibly bullish. We love the lurkers in chat or out of chat. We love having y'all here with us. Well stated, Mama Crypto. Mama Crypto, a fantastic mod. Great to have her in holding things down this morning. Jay Cadona, can't wait for Robinhood wallets so I can finally tip. You deserve it. Thanks to the channel. Hey, appreciate that, man. Appreciate that so much. They're coming, man. Robinhood wallets are coming. They're coming within the first quarter of this next year. Guys, we have so much. Those of you who are enthusiastic about Dogecoin, there's so much to look forward to. The first quarter of 2022 is going to be the most epic time in Doge history. We've got those Robinhood wallets coming. Nothing to sneeze at. And I'll tell you why. McFly. It's because 30% of all Dogecoin holders in the world are on Robinhood. For as many criticisms that people have had on Robinhood, and many of them well-deserved, mind you, I get that. But at the same time, we need to keep in mind that Robinhood is still the most popular starting platform for new investors in the space. It's got a very sleek, a very stylish, a very comprehensive, user-friendly interface that many people find attractive and easy to understand. I mean, with all due respect, if you're brand new to crypto and you create a Binance account, it's not terribly intuitive. It's not a terribly intuitive experience. That's another reason actually why I still love Voyager. Voyager's got a very intuitive, simple, very quick user experience. So yeah, and also if you don't already have a Voyager account, it's in the description of all my videos. The link and the referral, my partnership code with Voyager, where you can get not only approved the same day, but you'll get $25 in free Bitcoin when you start trading. And the good thing about that is you can transfer that. You can keep that in Bitcoin, or you can transfer it over to Dogecoin. So you got $25 in Dogecoin. It's just an easy way to have a little bit of bonus there. And I know people have definitely been taking advantage of that. But nothing as epic as the WEBULL special that's going on right now. 5 free stocks until the 24th. So guys, just a day and a half left on that. A day and a half left. I've recently partnered with WEBULL. So if you click the link at the top of the chat, you will get 5 free stocks when you open an account with WEBULL. And WEBULL is a stock and crypto trading platform. They've got Dogecoin on there. I wouldn't have partnered with them if they didn't have Dogecoin on their platform, but they do. And people have been reporting that not only are they already getting their 5 free stocks, but there's some people are saying that they're getting, and I can't attest if this second part is going to be true for everyone, but I've had a few different people now tell me that additionally they've gotten $50 in crypto credit on top of the 5 free stocks. It's just wild. And you have to have a deposit in your account, but that deposit can literally be $1. It can be literally 1 penny for you to qualify for those 5 free stocks. Those 5 free stocks can add up to, they can add all the way up to like $8,000 in value. So just something to consider there, guys. Something to consider there. Marie Potter. Yes, I'm a lurker today. Happy holidays. Happy holidays. Merry Christmas to each and every one of you fine folks. It's the holiday season. The lyrics are eluding me on that song, and that is a jam, particularly when Bing Crosby sings it, in my opinion. Let me look up the lyrics to that. Happy holidays, happy holidays. Oh yeah, I like this song so much. This is a pretty underrated Christmas classic in my opinion, because it's got a swing to it. It's just got a swing to it. It's just got the stuff. It's got the mots. It's the holiday season. and Santa Claus is coming around. The Christmas snow is white on the ground when old Santa gets into town. I got to listen to it again and refresh my memory, but it's just got that stuff. It's got that stuff. I think Frank Sinatra, yeah, I know he did a rendition of it as well. It's good stuff. It's good stuff. Some of you may be asking yourselves, what does this have to do to crypto? Nothing. That's just how we roll here on the show. But those of you who tune in regularly, you know how we do here. We bounce around. We cover the Doge. We cover the crypto. But we cover other stuff as well. It makes it more fun. Let me see if I got anything else on the notes for this morning for you guys. That about does it. Wait, one thing I do want to share with you. There's some really strong bull signals for AVAX to hit upwards of $170, $180. Right now it's trading, just to give you some perspective, it's trading just under 130, between 126 and 128. There are some strong bullish signals to suggest that Avalanche could make it upwards of $170, $180 in the near future. So take that for what you will. Anyway, I want to thank each and every one of you guys for tuning in this morning. I want to thank my super chatters. Really appreciate it. Sliding Edge and Nostalgic J, thank you so much. Nostalgic J, thank you for literally helping to keep the lights on over here. Much appreciated. Thank you so much, each and every one of you guys. I hope you enjoyed this special morning edition of Steven Steele Live. If you would like to see me do this a little bit more, put a 1 in the chat. If you'd like to see a little bit more of the morning shows, put a 1 in the chat so I can get a vibe and a tone for that. Thank you so much, guys. If you're not following me on Twitter, what the heck you doing, as another friend of mine says. It's Mr. Steven Steele _. Mr. Steven Steele _. That's the new profile, and it will state so in the bio. New profile. And that's where all the action happens. Again, guys, I will see a lot of you tonight. Some of you maybe not tonight, but I will be back on tonight doing the thing the best way we know how. Yes, indeed. Thank you so much, guys. Appreciate each and every one of you. Until next time, this is your man, Real Deal, Steven Steele, signing out.